Hi there, welcome to Prime Sports with me, Razak Bout. Now to Kumasi Asante Kotoko, where newly appointed head coach of the club, Karim Zito, has now held his first training session with the squad ahead of the team's next game, next Ghana Premier League game against Aduana Stars. Now, Karim Zito, who until his appointment was head coach of Dreams FC, takes over from Dr. Prosper Nata Ogum, who was relieved of his role following a 4-game winless run. We have more for you on what the club expects of the new head coach in this report. Coach Karim Zito held his first training session following his appointment as interim head coach and technical director of Kumasi Asante Kotoko at the club's training ground at Adako Jache, leading a new era in the club's technical restructuring. A former player and coach of the club, Zito returns to the Porcupine Warriors with a proven track record at both club and national levels. The veteran trainer recently guided Dreams FC to a historic CAF Confederations Cup semi-final and famously led Ghana's under-20 team to the 2021 Africa Under-20 Cup of Nations title. His dual role is expected to bring stability and direction as the club continues its search for a substantive head coach. Joining him in the reshaped technical setup is Prince Yao Owusu, who takes up the role of assistant coach. With over 2 decades of coaching experience across Ghana, Sudan, and the United States, Prince Owusu's portfolio includes stints with Midiama Sporting Club, Inter Allies, and the Ghana Under-20 and Under-17 national teams. He is widely recognized for his work in nurturing talent who have progressed to top European clubs like AC Milan, Genoa, Sassuolo, and Fiorentina. Additionally, former technical director Malik Jaber has been named technical advisor. In this strategic role, he will offer high-level guidance to support the club's long-term vision. Asante Kotoko says the appointment forms part of its renewed commitment to building a strong, forward-thinking technical structure to ensure consistent success on the pitch. The club also hopes that these new appointments will help keep its hopes of playing in the CAF Confederations Cup or the CAF Champions League alive. Meanwhile, report further indicates that the club is expected to compensate outgoing head coach Prosper Nate Ogum with a severance package totaling over $15,000. Ogum, who rejoined the Porcupine Warriors in July 2023, endured a difficult second half of the ongoing 2024-25 Ghana Premier League campaign. Despite the team's recent struggles, he managed to lead Kotoko to the semi-finals of the MTN FA Cup. His departure was confirmed by the club after their 2-0 loss to Nations FC on Sunday at the Dr. Kwame Chey Sports Complex. The defeat extended Kotoko's winless streak to 4 games, leaving them in 4th place on the league table with 47 points. Now, joining me on phone is Communications Director of the club, lawyer Safu Duku, for more on this development at the club. Mr. Safu Duku, thank you very much for making time with us on Prime Sports tonight. I mean, first of all, the big question on the lips of many people is, for how long will Kotoko continue this cycle of sacking coaches? I mean, you want to count the number of coaches the club has appointed, at least in the last 10 years. It's quite a tall number. When will this end? When will the club have some level of confidence in one coach so that some stability could be guaranteed in the technical department?
It is not a situation that the management is also happy with. President, yes, we've had a cause to complain about that. Unfortunately, it has gotten to a point when we have no other option than to take the decision we have taken in the best interest of the club.
I mean, you cite the recent round of results that, the club has picked up. I mean, winless in the last 4 games, having relinquished the top spot of the Ghana Premier League. To a very large extent, some will wonder, shouldn't the management of the club also take some blame for the performance of the team at the moment? Is it solely the technical team that should be taking the blame?
Well, obviously, you would agree with me that we're doing the best as management in terms of providing the necessary support and motivation we have always indicated that Kotoko, in terms of player motivation, I think that if you are not the best, will be among the best two in the country, and you can attest to that. Obviously, you would I also attest to the fact that in the last 8 or 7 matches that we have played, even though we have had some wins and draws, we have had to struggle terribly. And if it's about the performance, and looking at the fact that we gave the coach and the technical team the free hand to recruit their own players, and it has gotten to a point when the players are just not performing to expectation, then obviously the blames will be put on the technical team. That is solely responsible for improving the performance of the team, which unfortunately is not happening. And in the couple of matches that we have played, things have gotten so bad.
I mean, what confidence do you have in Karim Zito to be able to improve the performance of the team, for which reason you decided to sack Coach Prosper Nato Ogum? What confidence do you have in Coach Karim Zito?
Well, as I listened to you read out the profiles of the two coaches, I was clear in my mind that we have not taken a bad decision at all. Even though the actions should be on the field, you all know the exploits of Karim Zito on the local scene. Quite recently, he guided Dreams FC to a historic semi-final bet in the Confederations Cup. We also know the work of Coach Owusu. So with the two at the helm of affairs, we think that they can turn it around, looking at the experience and their proven track records. We are not saying that Coach Okun is a bad coach. That is not what we are saying. But sometimes a lot of things come to play. You know, it's not everything that you can put out on air. But at this stage, we realize that having engaged the coach, complain of the issues and his responses, we felt that he has done all that he could, except that things are just not working for him. So the best interest of the club and the coach himself, we have had to part with, quite unfortunately.
I mean, let's stay on Coach Karim Zito now. 6 games to go in the Ghana Premier League. You've got a semi-final game in the MTN FA Cup. If you're able to make it to the finals, then, totaling 8 games for Coach Karim Zito. What are the clear targets you've set for him as far as, the short stint is concerned?
Yes, Coach Karim Zito is not new in the system. He has been around. He has been following the local league. He knows the players very well. So we think that you have no time to holiday. Straight away, he has moved into action. And having a fair idea of the Kotoko team gives him the advantage to be able to fit into the system so quickly. And so he will have to put on course the mission that we set for ourselves, that is winning the double. We are still on course, 6 points behind the league leaders. A total of 18 points are at stake for grabs. We think that with the experience and the pedigree of Coach Karim Zito and Coach Owusu, they should be able to keep that dream alive.
Well, Lawyer Safu Duku, we really appreciate your time tonight on Journeys. That's Lawyer Safu Duku. He's the Communications Director of Kumasi Asante Kotoko, emphasizing that Coach Karim Zito has been tasked to win the double, the MTN FA Cup and the Ghana Premier League for the club. Away from that, the Ghana Weightlifting Federation has denied allegations of bias and political interference following claims by athlete management group Just Keep Going Incorporated over the exclusion of 5 athletes from the 2025 African Weightlifting Championship in Mauritius. Now, this follows a statement issued today by the Chief Executive Officer of the Just Keep Going Incorporated, Gabriel Lasari, accusing the Federation President, Jerry Ahmed Shaibu, of bias and political interference following the withdrawal of some of its athletes from the championship without regard to due process. An excerpt of that statement we have for you on the screen. And they say that, excerpt of that statement. Then the Ghana Weightlifting Federation obviously responded, denying those claims. And part of that statement by the Ghana Weightlifting Federation is what we see here. They say, to be absolutely clear, the athletes were not withdrawn. They were never approved or cleared to represent the Ghana Weightlifting Federation in the first place. Their participation was not authorized by the Federation, nor were they part of any formal registration submitted to the Weightlifting Federation of Africa. They go on to say that what occurred was a unilateral and unsanctioned attempt by individuals, something no responsible sporting body will endorse. Then they state in conclusion that the Federation remains fully committed to developing, empowering, and supporting Ghanaian athletes as it always has. However, such support must exist within a framework of respect for structures, legal compliance, and mutual accountability. They say no athlete, sponsor, or third party will be permitted to act in ways that compromise the authority or credibility of the Federation. So the Federation explaining that. And so this is just excerpt of the accusation that was leveled by the athlete management group, Just Keep Going, where they accused the Federation of bias, and they mentioned some of the athletes who were affected. One, Gabriel Owusu, Marie Koko, Agba Hughes, Paul Agrama, J. Abraham, and Sylvanus Kublenu, who they say are all international medal winners, proudly represented by the group. And they say that they indeed arrived in Mauritius to take part in the tournament. However, they accuse Mr. Jerry Ahmed Shaibu, who they say acted recklessly by interfering to sabotage the effort of these athletes. And they say that such effort did embarrass Ghana on the international stage. However, the Ghana Weightlifting Federation has denied this allegation, and they say that the said athletes did not receive approval from the Ghana Weightlifting Federation before embarking on that trip to Mauritius. Now, away from the Ghana Weightlifting Federation, the official launch of the 10th edition of the Millennium Marathon took place in Accra earlier today. This year's event comes off in September 6 with a significant increase in prize money. The first place winners in both the men's and women's categories is expected to take home over 70,000 Ghana cedis, while second and third place finishers will receive 50,000 and 30,000 respectively. A colleague Benai Dafiamako was at the launch earlier today and has more.
The event, which was held at the press center of the Accra Sports Stadium, was graced by several dignitaries, including the Minister for Sports and Recreation, Kofi Adams, Director of the National Sports Authority, Yawan Pofuankra, and President of Ghana Athletics, Bawa Fuseini, among others. Since its inception in 2015, the Millennium Marathon has steadily grown into a globally recognized brand, drawing thousands of athletes from around the world. This year is no exception, with an estimated 12,000 athletes expected to participate. Catherine Martin, co-founder and race director, described this year's event as a rebirth of the marathon.
We decided to rebrand Millennium Marathon because we realized that as we are growing, we need to look at the social dimension of the race. It's not just about athletes, and particularly because we are having influx of regular people, families, fitness enthusiasts, students coming. We realize that we have to look at community and how the marathon can go beyond athletics and support communities. And so that's why we decided to rebrand. If you can see, the logo also has an international appeal to it. If you can take a closer look at it, even our color, which is Aramanth, is a unique and vibrant, a different color. Our logo now, when you compare our logo to other international logos, you can see that this looks like international standard, but with a local content. And so some of these, things were involved when we decided to rebrand. Looking at the international nature of it, but also adding the social aspect. So our tagline now is beyond the finish line. We are saying that it's not just about the race day, it's about before, the preparation, what we are doing, what athletes and regular people are doing. It's all about the race on the day, but also after the race, what next? That is community, social impact, doing things with people, helping the youth get fit, and helping them to take interest in sports and other things. So it's beyond the finish line right now.
This year's edition is also set to see significant increase in prize money. The first place winners in both the men's and women's categories will receive 75,000 Ghana cedis, while second and third place will take home 50,000 Ghana cedis and 30,000 Ghana cedis respectively. Additionally, athletes who place between 4th and 25th will receive consolation prizes. An extra incentive of 10,000 Ghana cedis will also be awarded to any athlete who breaks and sets a new course record. Minister for Sports and Recreation, Kofi Adams, commended KGL, the marathon's prime sponsor, for their investment in sports and urged other corporate bodies to emulate their example to further the growth of sports in Ghana.
I wish to extend heartfelt appreciation to the sponsors and partners who have consistently championed the Millennium Marathon. Your unwavering commitment has not only sustained this event, but elevated it into what? A symbol of excellence and international recognition. So if today we have reached where we have reached, it's because you have sustained this event, and we want to commend you, especially the KGL group and the chief executive, the executive chairman who is here. We thank you for a very personal decision that you made to put your resources into sports. I thank you so much. As we look into the future, I encourage both public and private sector institutions to follow this example. The KGL example must be followed because it will grow a lot more persons.
Experience the new Millennium Marathon, a symbol of progress, dreams, and everything beyond the finish line.
Well, looking forward to the 10th edition of the event there too. And let's wrap up with some Women's Premier League action. And for the weekend, Halifax ladies secured their top flyer status after beating Fit Ladies 2-1 in the Southern Zone relegation playoff. Now, Fit Ladies, who finished second last season, will be facing Jonina Ladies in the FA Cup final to join Berry Ladies as the relegated teams. Adam Benin Abdul Karim was at the McDonough Stratev in Teshi and now reports. Well, we'll bring you that story in our subsequent bulletins, and also some Easter horse racing festival that did take place. But we've got more stories for you on myjoyonline.com. Coming up is PM Express. Please do stay.
Just a week ago, emotions ran high at the Dansoman Karindorf Park as nearly the entire Halifax ladies team broke down in tears, believing their fate had been sealed after the final game of the regular season. However, a lifeline arrived with the GFA's announcement of a relegation playoff to determine the final team to go down in the Southern Zone with Berry Ladies. The Nungwa-based team seized the opportunity with grit and determination, fighting for every ball. Their efforts paid off when substitute Gloria Fosua broke the deadlock in the 53rd minute. They were made to even work harder for the victory, following the sending off of key defender Faustina Edu, just minutes after fate equalized through Zanira Razak's brilliant solo goal. Even so, Halifax's resolve only grew stronger. In the 80th minute, Saidatu Wahab delivered a decisive goal, sealing victory and securing their place in the Women's League next season. Speaking to Joy Sports after the game, Halifax welfare officer Patrick Tete attributed their victory to good preparation.
But it was very challenging, but we really planned we rehearsed more psychologically and physically. We were tactically, if I should put it that way, we were solid. We went out there, but this is football. Unfortunately, it couldn't work for the way we wanted it to be. So it was 1-1, and then per the regulations, we have to play the kickoff today. So we said to our guys, hey, this is another opportunity that we have had. Let's go all out.
For Halifax ladies players, the opportunity to remain in the Women's League after their promotion last season will not be taken for granted.
We cried the last week, and this week we are very excited. We brought we came all out to score them. We wanted them to cry some. Yeah. So now they'll feel our pain. Yeah. This is our first season. That's why. But next season we'll bring out our best to be part of the top 4 or top 5. Yeah.
We determined that today we will not cry again. We determined we will win this game. So next season we will not come together. We think we will not lose this game. We pray that we will win.
For Faith Ladies head coach Raymond Fenny, the team's relegation was the result of a combination of many factors.
A very interesting match, but unfortunately we lost. Like you said, that's what the regulations is, and we have to. But it looks like right from the beginning of the season, the odds has been against us. Even matches that we will win, even we rather will give the opponent goals. And then even the match that we have won, even against Intellect Soccer Lady Strikers, we have scored. The referee has restarted the game. Then the MC called back and they say it was offside. So many things.
Former Black Queens coach Messi Tego